Hello everyone and welcome to this exciting course called Computer Networking Fundamentals, in which, as the title suggests, we will learn the basic concepts and aspects of computer networking. Now, this is the second lesson of the introductory section in which we will discuss about the course, about how it's structured, and the topics that we'll learn, as well as the prerequisites and the expected learning after you finish the course. So some of the major topics and things that we'll talk about in this course include network types, the function of network equipment and when it should be used, how to configure IP addresses, including IP version 4 and IP version 6, mapping of TCP/IP protocols to the OSI model, and much, much more. So first of all, let's discuss who should be the audience for this course. Well, basically, this one's very simple. Any IT enthusiast who wants to learn the fundamentals of computer networking, the basic aspects of computer networking, and understand how computer networking works. This is, again, as I mentioned, pretty simple. Now, the prerequisites. The prerequisites are not let's say, that drastic. You should have some familiarity of navigating around the Windows operating system and some familiarity about navigating around the Linux operating system as well. So now let's see how the course is structured. What will be the sections and the lessons that we'll be going through throughout the course, of course. Now, this is the first section, the introduction section. The previous lesson was the instructor introduction in which I've introduced myself. I'm your instructor for the course. In this lesson, we'll talk about the course and, of course, all the aspects that have to do with the overview of the course. Then we'll get into the course itself, starting section 2, in which we're going to discuss about networking hardware, services, and configuration concepts. And here we'll start very simple by discussing what is networking. Then we'll talk about the common networking configuration concepts, then about the networking hardware devices, ports and protocols, and much more. Starting from section 3, we'll go into the wireless and internet connection types and their features, of course. And here we'll talk about the network types, the internet connection types, and we are going to end the section with a discussion in regards to wireless networking protocols. In the next section, section 4, we'll talk about we'll get more deeply into the TCP/IP protocol suite, where we'll discuss about the OSI model, the port numbers, domain name service, DNS that is, the DHCP, the dynamic host configuration protocol, about the IP, the internet protocol, TCP and UDP protocols, and ICMP and ARP. Then we are going to get into the next section where we'll go again even more deeper into configuring IP version 4 and IP version 6. And here we'll have lessons as you can see here on the slide, configuring IPv4, configuring IPv6. Then we'll talk about subnetting and lastly about supernetting. And we are going to reach the final section of the course where we'll briefly discuss at a high-level overview about applying computer network defense, shortly called CND. And here we'll talk about the computer network defense layers and about the secure network design. So this is how the course is structured. This is what you'll go through when you start this course. Now let's talk about the expected learning. And here, when I say expected learning, I mean what will you leave with after completing the course. First of all, I want to let you know from the beginning that the course includes a mixed content of videos, demonstrations, which I strongly suggest that you follow along, section review questions, and I'll talk about these a little bit later in a few moments. And you'll also find, for each lesson, you will find downloadable resources that contain links to additional reading and information in regards to the topics discussed in that particular lesson. Now, what baggage of knowledge will you leave after completing the course? So after completing the course, you will be able to understand several network types. You will be able to understand networking hardware and their purpose, what they're used for. You will be also able to understand the basics of IP addressing. You will be able to configure IP version 4 and IP version 6. And of course, you will be able to understand network traffic and what it means, because through network packet captures you'll also be able to identify what's actually happening on your network. Now, the review questions. As I've mentioned earlier, at the end of the course you will have a quiz, basically a set of questions, which again I strongly suggest that you go ahead and do, because you will basically test your knowledge on the key concepts and topics discussed throughout the course. So again, please do the review questions, follow along with the demonstrations. This concludes our lesson and discussion about the course. I'll see everyone in the next lesson, where we'll actually get into the course itself, section 2. Hope you'll join me in the course and hope you'll learn lots of things in regards to, of course, computer networking fundamentals. So let's begin the course. I'll see everyone in the next lesson.